Where have I been? I have been riding the struggle bus. I have been riding the struggle bus for a few weeks now. Continue watching to see where my struggle bus is taking me. Good evening, everyone. It's Nicole with Depressed to Success, and it's been a hot minute since I've done any type of video, whether it would be a food prep one or just a check-in one. So I just wanted to check in and let everybody know where I'm at and what's going on and kind of like where I see myself going forward. So I'm definitely looking to continue to bring content to the channel, bring content to the Instagram page and the Facebook page. I have slacked off some mainly because I am struggling. I have always said from the beginning that I would never hide anything when it came to my weight loss journey. I would never hide anything and put a bunch of filters on all my photos. I try to keep everything as real and honest as I can. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about the raw honesty of my struggle. So I'm currently struggling with just my food intake. I know what I should be eating. I know what I should be eating portion size wise. I know what my caloric intake should look like. However, coming off of a prep, going right into a girls' trip vacation, I was able to eat freely, but I did it with my girlfriends and I didn't have the opportunity to really eat freely with my family. And so when I came back from vacation, I tried within the first week to go right back to not necessarily being like restrictive and super strict, but I really tried to focus on choosing better options. And it became difficult when we'd head to the grocery store and your children are like, hey, are you prepping for a show, Mom? No, I'm not. Great. Can we stop and get ice cream? Who am I to say no? So there's been a lot of ice cream trips. There's been a lot of just freely eating of cookies and cake and things like that. And so it's just starting to add up, and I'm starting to see a difference in my body, and it's a difference that I'm not necessarily happy with. I've been upfront with my coach. He knows that I'm struggling as well. However, we do have a goal set. So I am starting tomorrow. I will be starting an 11-week cut. And I say it's a cut because basically for the next 11 weeks, I really am going to be focusing on what I'm putting in my body, how much I'm putting in my body, and really focusing on staying on the actual nutrition plan. I haven't had any issues with staying on my workout program. I can work out every day, and that brings me a lot of joy. It just kind of just takes a load off, I guess you could say. So I have already prepared my breakfast. What I'm going to have for breakfast is this week coming up. I didn't record any of my meal prepping because a lot of it was some same foods that I've already videoed before. And that's basically just because, it's the stuff that I'm used to eating. So I just kind of want to start with what I'm familiar with, what I know I like, and then we'll expand from there. Another reason why I chose the number 11 for 11 weeks is that in 11 weeks, I will be getting ready for surgery. In 11 weeks, I basically will be having surgery. And my coach and I have come up with a particular weight that I would like to be wheeled into the OR room weighing, because when I come out of surgery, I know that I'm going to be pretty much down and out for about 6 to 8 weeks. And we want to make sure that we allow ourselves some buffer when it comes to weight gain. I know there's going to be a lot of swelling. I know that there's going to be a lot of water weight and things of that nature. However, we want to go in at a decent number so that way, there is going to be some, because of not being able to move and not being able to be at the gym and stuff like that. So that's basically, and I don't want to crash diet before my surgery because I want to go in as healthy as possible. So just basically going back onto a good food regimen, a good outlook on this is a goal that needs to be attained, and in order for me to continue on my journey and to go to the next step of my journey, this needs to be done. So as far as surgery, I mean, I've been basically talking about it and saying things. I put a couple of things on Instagram. I tagged the institution where I'm getting my surgery done, and I'm not really sure how much in-depth information I've given. And again, I'm not going to hide anything. It's just not in my nature. I'm very much an open book. If you want to know something, just ask me and I will pretty much give you the answer, and it'll be a point blank answer. I try hard. I mean, I try to be as nice about certain things, but I'm not a sugarcoater. Unfortunately, it's just not really unfortunately, you know, it's just part of me. It's part of who I am. So to build on that, I am having basically, as some would say, is a full mommy makeover. I will be having a tummy tuck as well as a breast lift, and I will also have a breast augmentation, also known as I will have implants. I originally was thinking of just doing a breast lift because I'm so much about being as natural as possible. I lost my 100 pounds naturally. I did it with diet and exercise and determination and grit and a lot of time. I took my time. I compete as a natural athlete. I have never taken any type of enhancement drugs to become a bodybuilder. So I usually am very much into and preach the natural side of things. However, with speaking with this particular surgeon who was very educated, made myself and my husband feel very much at ease, and had a vast variety of knowledge when it came to a bodybuilder, as well as the structure and the muscle structure of a bodybuilder's body, very graciously explained to me that because I don't have a whole lot of breast tissue left over when I'm lean, going into the surgery, she could do a lift, but by doing a lift, I literally would be left with nothing there. If she were to lift what is currently there, all it is skin. There's really no breast tissue in there. So I would basically still be extremely flat chested. So she was like, you know, aesthetically, it's just not gonna be probably where I would want to be or what I have envisioned in my mind. So it would definitely be a better option so I had two choices: either leave my breasts the way they are and just basically buy really expensive push-up bras and deal with the making that illusion of having full breasts, or going ahead and going with the implant route. And she was very in depth of explanation of where they place the implant, and that they do ultrasonic viewings of everything, multiple appointments after the surgery, as well as within like 6 months, and then a year checkup and a 2-year checkup and things like that. They really are extremely proactive about where the implant is, and that, you know, if there's been any shifting, if there's any shading, if there's anything that looks weird, they're very much on top of it, which made me feel really, really good. So I went ahead and chose to have the implants put in. And now I'm not going into like these humongous, like Debbie Does Dallas type of breast implants. I'm going with as natural, medium, I guess you could say, size. I'm looking for about a B cup, B plus maybe, because on my body frame, it would just look very not natural to have anything bigger than that. And she completely agreed as well. So I just absolutely loved the surgeon, loved the center. When we walked in, everything is done in-house right there. I will have to stay overnight, so that's something that we have to figure out when it comes to our youngest son, getting him to school and from school, because they do surgery on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or Wednesdays and Thursdays, or something like that. So we're gonna have to deal with a little bit of logistic issues when it comes to that. But you know, the night that you stay over, they have an on-site nurse, and that nurse actually literally like kind of stays with you and walks you through everything. I will be coming home with drains. I know I will be, she explained I'll have a nerve blocker for like 3 days, so I'll be pretty much numb from the whole tummy tuck area. And then once the pain, once that wears off, obviously then the pain will show up. She said I'll probably be walking, not necessarily standing upright for the first couple of days, and then as time goes on, I'll be able to stand straight up. She was the second surgeon to tell me that I don't need any type of liposuction whatsoever because I don't have a lot of fatty deposits anywhere, which was really nice to hear that, you know, all of my hard work has paid off. So that kind of goes in, ties into the whole 11-week cut, because I don't want to go in and be like, sorry, my self-control just went out the window and now I've put on weight. Some of it is fat, and now we need to add lipo and do the surgery, because I really don't want to do that. Because according to her and other people I've spoken with, lipo is actually the worst thing and the most painful thing. The actual surgeries themselves aren't necessarily as painful or as hard to bounce back from as lipo is. So that's where I am with that. Now, when it comes to my business, those who know me personally, and if you don't necessarily know me personally or follow my journey and you're new to my channel and you're new to me, I opened up a small, very, very small meal prep business within my gym that I currently attend and that I've been a member of since day one. And I've been basically kind of meal prepping, cooking for the masses for a little over 2 years now. And after I came back from my girls' trip, I really had some time to sit and reflect on where I am in my journey, what brings me joy, what lights my soul afire. And after talking with some other colleagues and a really wonderful pastor, I was able to make the decision that I'm not going to be cooking for the masses anymore. I am only going to be cooking for like maybe 1 or 2 people that I just do privately out of my home. And I'm doing this mainly because I want to be able to spend some more time with my family. When I was meal prepping for the masses, I basically was tied to my commercial kitchen all weekend long. So if there was ever an event or a wedding or a baby shower or something, you know, going on a weekend, it was really difficult for me to be able to attend it. And then just the simplest things of, hey, let's go explore the state of Texas that we moved to 4 years ago that we still haven't explored. Let's go explore it. It was very hard to do because I was tied to the kitchen and trying to prepare all of the meal orders that were pre-ordered. So, you know, and my kids aren't necessarily getting any younger. I've got a 22-year-old. I've got a 14-year-old. I've been married 23 years. So it's just, you know, it's time to really just sit back and be honest with myself on what really lights my fire. And what I've come to realize is that I really just want to share my journey. I want to share the knowledge that my weight loss has given me and the joy that it's given me. And, you know, I remember back from my school age times that I was always in trouble for talking too much. And I remember, you know, that was always written on my report card: great student, so much so much fun to have in class. Just wish she would talk less. And, you know, it was always such a thing against me. And now I look at it as it's a blessing that was given to me. So it's part of my God-given gift, is the gift of gab, I guess. And I feel like I am being pulled to do something greater. And, you know, and even just sharing my story and sharing my struggles and sharing my journey of how I lost the weight, the little tricks that I did, the mental aspect of it, the physical aspect of it. If I can just help one person, you know, change their life for the better, help one person live a longer life because they chose to be healthier and they chose to put themselves first and they chose to stop the cycle of obesity in their family. You know, then my job is done. My talent, my gift from our Creator has been used in the way that it's supposed to, and that's to give back. I have a very giving heart. I am a very loving person. I'm a very loyal person. I feel very deeply for others, and I want to be able to just be with people. So I'm really going to start focusing on trying to do some speaking. I've reached out to a couple of like really big Instagram influencers, and I'm not necessarily looking to hear back from them, but it was very uncomfortable for me to basically step out on that platform and just be like, hey, do you ever have like plain Jane people on your program or on your page or on your podcast? And if you're somebody watching this video and you know of anybody that has a podcast or is an influencer in the health industry, and they interview normal people, then let me know. I'm more than happy to talk about it. And I'm also focusing on my one-on-one personal training, which is extremely stepping again outside of a comfort zone for me. I'm more of a group exercise instructor type person, because it's a group atmosphere where everybody is part of it, and we're all a big family and a big team, and you rely on each other to lift each other up and to cheer each other on. And when you do one-on-one personal training, that particular person is just solely relying on you to lift them up, to show them progress, to share in their journey. And it's very scary because in this world that we live in of social media and bashing and everything, if you do one thing wrong, it can ruin you as a person. You can ruin your reputation. And I live in a small town in the state of Texas, so it's very scary. But I also know in my heart of hearts that our Creator has always put roadblocks in your journey, because if you're feeling confident and comfortable and just kind of going along just with no worries in the world, then you may not necessarily be on the right path. He puts forth challenges for us to overcome, because at the end of the challenge, the blessing that he gives us is so much more is so much more sweet and so much more appreciated. So the fact that I'm stepping out and doing some one-on-one personal training, and it makes me a little uncomfortable, I know that I'm on the right path. I know that I'm going in the right direction that he would want me to go in. I have started attending church again, which I'm very excited about. I have always had a pull for that since I moved here to Texas, but it was just really difficult to find a church home and find a place that I felt comfortable and felt like I was welcomed for who I am and the person that I am. And I think I have found something. I have a friend that's going with me, and it's somebody that I feel very comfortable with, that I can have really good, deep conversations with, and I can ask as some would think, dumb questions when it comes to the Bible or biblical stories or just the timeline, because I wasn't raised with it. And when you live here in the South, especially in the Bible Belt, and you don't understand or know all of the biblical stories, you're kind of looked at differently. And this particular person doesn't look at me differently. And she has the ability to speak to me and speak with me in a language that I understand, and doesn't have an issue with making things a little bit more understandable for me, and really gets joy out of doing that. So I think that her and I together are going to make a really great team at this new church, and it's a new church for her too. So I think that's really awesome that we're just leaning on each other for this part of our journey. So that's kind of, I guess, where we are and what's going on. If you ever have any questions or comments, always ask, always leave them, because I'm an open book. I don't want to hide anything. And I think that's why I haven't really been on here or posting, is because I was hiding. I was hiding the food that I was eating. I was hiding the portions that I was eating, because I was I felt like a failure. I felt like if I showed everybody what I was doing, I was going to be considered a hypocrite or a failure. And that is a big issue with me. I don't want to fail. I hate failing. I hate not being able to hold up my end of the bargain. So I've just been kind of shameful about it. And so I'm putting it out there that it's okay to stumble and fall. It's okay to stumble and stumble for a little bit. I mean, it's life. This is the normal aspects of weight loss. A lot of the influencers that are online right now only show you all the good stuff. They only show you their salads and their workouts and things like that. But if there's ever a time that they're struggling, you don't ever know about that because that doesn't sell. The Instagram photos with all the filters and these beautiful salads and perfectly looking foods and perfectly cooked and portioned, that's what sells. Real life doesn't. And I'm not about that. I'm not about hiding behind a filter. I'm not all about hiding behind all of the yay things, because there's a lot of nay things that happen too. So yeah, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm struggling, but again, starting tomorrow, it'll be an 11-week cut. I will share with you as much as I can how the cut is going, where I am, where my starting point is, and then what I'm eating for foods. And, I'll do my best to show you portion sizes and any cooking that I do or any preparations. Any recipes that I share. If I get something from another Instagram or YouTube influencer, I will always post them as well and say, hey, I was watching so-and-so and they made this, so I tried it and it's amazing. Because we got to lift each other up. It's not about a competition. I'm not competing with all of the other influencers. I don't want them to ever feel as though I stole their content or I stole their recipe. I will always give credit where credit is due. So so with all that being said, I know this was like super winded and long, but I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you know where I am and where my mind is and where my life is going right now. So any Hoosier, that's my life right now in a nutshell. So keep pushing, keep trying. If you've been stumbling, it's okay. Dust yourself off, get back up, and start again. We all have to start somewhere. We all don't start in the same place. And we all don't start with those beautiful filters and those perfect salads. We all start with our natural looking everything and a thrown together salad, because let's face it, life is hectic and crazy and busy. So sometimes your salads don't look perfect as long as they taste good. That's all that matters. So keep trying, keep pushing, and I'm here for you. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed night and see you tomorrow. Don't forget to like my YouTube channel, subscribe, and comment below if you have any suggestions or comments, and I will do my best to entertain the suggestions. I will do my best to answer all of your comments, and if you have any questions, I will always do my best to answer them as truthfully as possible. So make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. Love you guys. Thanks.